So this, my 10th video of in the car. I don't know if I should do a milestone kind of thing, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do that. But I had a little bit of a kind of a crisis thing going on. I've recorded a lot of these videos, and a lot of them I've just kind of trashed because I really didn't end up liking the topic, or I just got bored. It's the equivalent of falling asleep in the middle of a movie. So I never really posted them. I find it very difficult to come up with a topic all the time to talk about these, even though I really only post one a week. That's mainly so I can pick and choose from any of the videos that I may have made during the week, which one I actually want to post. Because most of the time, the ones that I record just end up getting thrown out. So I posted this, and someone suggested that I kind of merge the video and a blog post together, because I made the equation that I find it easier to do a blog post than to do a video. Mainly because with blog posts you can edit them and you can take your time, sit back, kind of stare at the ceiling until the thought comes to you, and you can revise them until they actually say what you want. Plus, you're limited by the speed of your fingers, so you have time to form a thought about what you want to say, before you put it to electrons. With a video, I'm sitting there babbling for 15 to 20 minutes, and I got to keep the momentum going. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there watching me stare out the windshield. So, I have to my brain has to keep the momentum going, and that's not always easy. When I did this without the camera, I'd speak out loud, and then I'd kind of like pause for like 2 or 3 minutes and just drive, and then I'd speak out loud again. It was, random outbursts during the drive. That does not make for good video watching. So the idea of merging the two, having either a video which you can watch, or a blog post which kind of encapsulated or expanded on the video, or vice versa, was Aaron's suggestion. And I wasn't really sure, because I didn't want to. My blog right now, I'm not really sure what the hell I want to do with it. Since I closed Level Capped, it's kind of become the dumping ground for basically everything. I put, some personal things there, and I put gaming stuff there, and I put, stuff in between there. But I've never really felt comfortable using that as kind of my primary blog, especially for gaming related topics, because Cedar Street, which is the name of the blog, doesn't really lend itself to, it doesn't really scream video games. No one's going to accidentally stumble upon my blog and looking for video game in blogs, and it's just not a mind share kind of deal, right? So that's why I came up with Level Capped. So I wasn't really sure if I really wanted to take this video series and marry it with a blog post on my existing blog. So for the 10th video in the series, I am going to be doing what I swore to God I would not be doing, which is to reinstate Level Capped as a website. However, it's going to be a different experience now. It's going to be kind of like not really a gallery, but it's going to be a presentation wrapper for these videos. They're still going to exist on YouTube, because that's where my playlist is. That's where people can subscribe to it. And it keeps them all in one place, right? That's what YouTube's for. I'm not going to dedicate my own bandwidth to hosting these things. So keep, putting them there. So, if you find these via YouTube through subscription or because of a link, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your patronage. However, I'm going to also try and, embed them on Level Cap, along with what will hopefully be a short post, either expanding or expounding on the topic in the video. So the question being is, do you have to watch the video in order to get the point of the post? Or can you just watch the video on YouTube and never come to the site? Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want one to rely entirely on the other. I want one to complement the other, right? Because that's just, that's just being nice. So, it's going to be a little bit of an experiment, which will also probably involve me having to go back and watch the previous 9 videos and embedding those in individual posts on the new site. Now, I'm still in the process of resetting up the site, mainly because I kind of went a little bit overboard with the theme last time on the old Level Cap, which I really liked. I customized it, and I was really in the habit of posting, an image with every post, so it was really looking all nice and swanky and stuff like that. But it was a lot of work, and since I'm not going to be hopefully putting in 5,000 word posts anymore, I don't really think I need to go that far. So yeah, so the URL, of course, is levelcapped.com, all one word. And yeah, I'm not really sure. I haven't actually set it up yet, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work. So I'll be sure to announce it via my usual hangouts on Google Plus and Twitter. If you really want to put it into your RSS feeds or some other content delivery network. So that's that. What else? Tomorrow, the Elder Scrolls Online PS4 beta runs for 4 days. That's kind of nice, but I heard that it's kind of a big-ass download, and it won't even fit on a Blu-ray, so unless they offer an upgrade path from the beta to the final product, I'm not going to be doing that, considering I'm not even going to be around for the full 4 days. Anyway, that's that. What else? Oh, actually, I had this thing. Let's see. Okay, so there's a company called Affectiva. 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 And this is a non-gaming related thing, although it kind of is. I stumbled upon this through Wired.com. They're a company that basically their product will use the camera of the device that you're using to, look at your face. I actually backed a project through Indiegogo called Face Rig, which was kind of cool. If you've ever played EverQuest, all right, we're degrees of separation away from what I want to talk about, but if you've ever played EverQuest 2, they have a cool technology where if you've got a webcam, you can put it on your face and attach it to your avatar. So when you do this, your avatar will go, and it's kind of cool to see your avatar's face responding in real time. Now, I don't really know that, how many people are looking at each other's faces when they're playing. For me, if I'm playing an MMO these days, I'm in third person and I'm kind of pulled back as far as possible. So I'm not going to be able to see people, in game. But Face Rig itself kind of takes that a step further, and it gives you a dedicated, headshot of an avatar. So when you make faces on your webcam, your avatar will mimic those. So it's always going to be up close. The cool thing about that is that they've got some anthropomorphic options there. So you can be like a dragon, or this demon guy, or like a wood elf, or kind of things like that. And it's pretty cool. can't imagine what the hell you'd use it for. It'd be really cool if you integrated it into something like Google Hangouts. So when you're in a Hangout, that's you, that's your avatar. That would be kind of cool. So I think maybe that's where they're going with it, kind of, sort of. But I just thought it was a cool project, and I really liked the technology. So I kind of threw money at it. So I have access to that, and I was playing with it one time. But Affectiva itself, they do something similar. Their program watches your face, but instead of applying your facial movements to an avatar, they've got algorithms, doesn't everyone, that determine the emotion that you're showing on your face. Okay, so yeah, all right, so pitchforks and torches down, all right. They assure people that they're not actually storing your face. They're storing, points of data on your face that represent an emotion, so that they kind of can get an idea about, what parts of people's faces are in which location in relation to the rest of their face to indicate happiness or fright or sadness. So it's, having an actual shot of your particular face doesn't do jack squat. I can't imagine that does jack squat for anybody. So it's really the, whether you're smiling, frowning, your brow is furrowed, or your brow is, kind of that. That's really the kind of thing that they're interested in, the position of the elements of your face. So, one of the things that they were talking about in this article on Wired was that you could be using your iPad to watch a scary movie. And if using this Affectiva software, if they determine that you've got your eyes closed or narrowed, or you're like, something like that, the movie playback will actually change, to kind of give you an experience that better fits your emotional state. So if you're watching a horror movie and you're like, they're going to be showing you all the gory details, but if you're like, they're going to skip over some of the more gruesome stuff and just kind of give you the story without all of the jump scares and stuff like that. So this is the kind of thing that I think a lot of people were horrified about when they talk about facial recognition, especially in regards to the Kinect. When that first came out, and people are like, oh yeah, they're going to be using it to, if you're watching sports, they can read your jersey and they can show you highlights from that team, or they can tell which team you're cheering for, and if they'll scan products in your field of view, and they'll show you commercials for those products and other, hey, they're invading my personal space kind of things, right? I don't know. I can't really super, I don't know. The idea of having a movie, for one thing, that adapts to your emotional state is pretty cool, but it's also pretty flawed. Because some people cry when they're happy, right? And they're not always smiling, right? So if this thing caught you, crying when you're, tears of joy, it's not necessarily going, it may report that, you're sad. And then you may end up watching, a Nicholas Sparks movie. But it's not accurate. Plus then, what you get is essentially a choose-your-own-adventure movie, right? So, one person's watching a horror movie, and another person's watching a horror movie, and you get two different experiences. So how can you reconcile that? Like, if these two people met over the water cooler the next morning, they wouldn't have a shared experience. It would be something totally different. And I think that would be cool. But, if you're kind of one of those completionist people and you want to see all versions of a movie, you essentially have to pull faces at the right place to trick the software into giving you a particular version of the movie. So, it would be kind of cool, I guess. And I don't believe I'm saying this. It'd be kind of cool for advertising purposes, right? If you're watching TV, and you're watching, fucking, that's stupid. actually, they can get more information based on what they know about what they're sending to your TV than they can from your face. You know, I am one of those kind of people that likes to talk during the during the TV show a lot of the time. My wife hates that, but you know, my friends and I, we grew up with Mystery Science Theater, so for us it's kind of normal. So the faces that we make aren't necessarily indicative of you know, what we're watching. Sometimes we amuse ourselves mightily and start laughing. It could be a horrible movie, but we start laughing anyway. But you know, if you're responding well to a certain thing, advertisers can do that. But they can, if you're watching a sitcom, then the advertisers, the back end system should be smart enough to know, hey, you know, set number 6211 is watching, you know, stupid family sitcom. You know, let's give them ads that fit the, you know, atmosphere, I guess, of stupid family sitcom, instead of, you know, maybe for all we know that, you know, the people who are watching are having a fist fight. And what are you going to advertise for them? Like boxing gloves? Neosporin? I don't know. So, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty interesting, you know, concept. But I guess, I don't know. I can't really think of too many practical applications. Therapy, maybe. It doesn't always have to provide you with content that matches your emotion, right? It could give you content that's the inverse of your emotion, maybe. So if you're talking about like a therapy app, you know, if someone looks sad, then you could, you know, show them something happy. If they look happy, you could show them something happier. You know, if they look scared, you can show them something calming or something like that. You know, I mean, that I think that might actually be the actual best use for technology like that. So, yeah, I mean, they have a free SDK for developers who want to go ahead and try and implement this in their application. Although, again, I can't really see too much of a market for this. But I'm sure, you know, in the internet era, people just keep creating crap and people keep finding reasons to use it. So I'm sure someone somewhere will end up using it. It's just a matter of, you know, what happens when people find out that their camera on their mobile or tablet or even, you know, PC or TV is looking at their face for the specific purpose of trying to read their emotions. You know, is everything going to have to come with a disclaimer? Are we going to have to check the I accept box for every TV show we turn to? You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. I'm sure someone, you know, will get paid for coming up with a great idea, a way to integrate it into their product. But you know, it remains to be seen as to whether or not the consumer base will stand for it.